Story time on how I found out my husband has a girlfriend. So yes, guys, it has been confirmed. He has a girlfriend, a real live girlfriend, live and in color, baby, girlfriend. So with that being said, on Sunday, I overheard him talking to our son about his mom's trial. A lot of you don't know, but I was banned from going to the trial. I was banned from the family altogether about 2 weeks ago, so I was not privileged to go and see how the sentencing went for Hirschman murderer. So with that being said, since I overheard that, I was like, oh, I forgot about it. Let me call cuz and see how it went. So I called his cousin to see how everything went. And she told me, she gave me the details and things like that. And then towards the end of the conversation, she was like, I was like, how is he doing? And she was like, yeah, he tried to get me to say hi to somebody in the pink jacket. I said, huh? He tried to get you to say hi to somebody in the pink jacket, cuz? She was like, yeah, something about some, such and such. Say hi to such and such. I said, such and such to who? She was like, I don't know, some girl. I said, he bought a girl to the sentencing? She said yes, and tried to get me to say hi to her. Got a pink jacket on, some black pants. I didn't want to say hi to her. This is not the time or the place. I said, cuz, he has a girlfriend. He brought her to the trial. She's like, that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. I'm like, that's what it is. Oh my goodness. So I didn't even have no time to process this. I have 10 minutes before I have to head an hour away to take my kids to my son's basketball game. Now, he said to my son that he will be at the basketball game, so I'm just dropping them off. The whole time in the car, like, oh my gosh, this man has a girlfriend. This is crazy. This is crazy. He's bringing her to his mom's trial. The first is the family. Next is the kids. Little did I know, this man wasn't wasting no time. Mind you, this is yesterday, Sunday. He ain't wasting no time. The trial was on Friday, the 16th. He ain't wasting no time. So I dropped the kids off and I'm like, okay, I just got to deal with this. I cry. I call my friends. I end up making it back home and I end up taking myself out to eat and getting on live and telling my live friends about it. Not really thinking nothing of it because I always want y'all to be privileged to all the information to see how I'm processing this and things like that, just to help myself and to help other people if it does. So I'm on live talking. I get a phone call from the cousin. She like, yeah, he calling me, cussing me out for telling you. I'm like, why he mad at you? She's like, I don't know why he thought that I wasn't going to tell you. That's not fair to them kids and stuff like that. He like, he tells her that she not his cousin no more. You Mallory cousin now. She said, and so what? And so what? I don't like how you doing them kids anyway. He like, all right, bet. She said, all right, bet. So I get back on live. My live get restricted. Obviously, he has somebody watching me. He got somebody watching me, whoever you are. Hey. How y'all doing? I ain't mad that you here because I ain't told a lie. I'm talking from my perception, from what's going on in my reality of what's going on. So what's going on is this situation. So with that being said, I come on home. My live get restricted. It's time for the kids to get dropped off. The kids get dropped off. He lingering around. Because mind you, he already know that I know because he done already called and cussed the cousin out. So he's trying to get something out the trunk. He walking up the driveway. I'm in the house shooketh because I am not going out there at all. I don't even really want him to see me. He seen me a little bit in the doorway and I tried to hurry up and move out the way. I am a trigger for this person and I want to make sure I stay far out of that man's eyesight and communication earways. I am a trigger for this man. He gets supply off of me whenever he can. So when he seen me in the doorway, he lingered a little bit longer. Finally, he ends up pulling off and leaving, and my kids are in the house. I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? You had a good time at the game and stuff? My son says that the last 2 games were canceled. So dad ended up calling his girlfriend, and they end up going out to lunch with dad's girlfriend. Yep, you guys. He took the kids out to lunch with the girlfriend. Mind you, this is all happening before or after he's cussing out the cousin. So he already knew that the kids was going to come in here to tell me. He didn't want the cousin to tell me because he wanted her on his team and have loyalty to him. And he wanted the kids to be the one to break the news to me that dad has a girlfriend. Baby girl calling her mommy. Son said, I don't see the problem. But what's the big deal about him having a girlfriend, Mom? I'm like, well, he is married, son. He is still married. And you know, your father can do whatever he wants. But you a good man. And I need you to pay attention to everything that's happening around you. You love these people. You be kind to these people. You treat these people how I taught you to be raised, how I raised you. But you always stay watching. You always stay vigilant. So yeah, y'all, story, that's how I found out that he has a girlfriend. He took the kids out to lunch with her yesterday, and he took her to his mom's trial on Friday, and he is displaying her in front of everybody. I pray for her and her safety and her mental well-being because I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm out. I will admit it was devastating yesterday. I cried a lot because, not for the simple fact that he has a girlfriend, but more so because my children have still not healed from their parents getting a divorce. It is so new to them. He just left our home on April 13th of 2025. It is now currently May 19th, 2025. So they've only had a little bit over a month to even understand what is actually happening. And they're just kids. They don't understand what's actually happening. They haven't had time to process. But now you're throwing in another curveball to have to force them to process and now force them to choose. You know, I really like this lady. She's a beautiful woman. She's kind to us. But we do have a mom. Like, you're putting too much on them. You're putting too much on them. I also must say that this must be giving some grade A supply he got going on. So we're going to have to be mindful and be careful and pray for my children, because this grade A supply is with a married man who is selling his home and displacing his children and dating you and putting you in front of his children immediately. This is grade A supply. So he's going to keep you around for a very, very long time. You just be mindful of what's going on. Anyway, I am happy for you guys, because when I get my man, I'm keeping him in the cuts. I don't care if I get my man a year from now, 2 years from now, whenever. When my man comes, I'm keeping him in the cut. We grown. I don't need to put him on Front Street and display. I want to enjoy my man by myself while you have your weekend visitations or your 1 week old visitations, whatever we decide to do. When my kids is over there with you, I'll be over here with my man. I'll be over here with my man. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. You know, I'm going to always let y'all know what's going on with this situation. It is a journey. It is a process. The grieving stages come in waves. I looked up the 5 stages of grief, and it looks like with every new thing, I'm going to have to go through the 5 stages of grief again. So, remember, in the beginning of this, I was in denial about the whole girlfriend thing. So, I had to go through the denial phase, and then if it was something I can do phase, and, the depression phase, and then the reality that this is what it is phase. You know, I did miss one. Can't remember what it is. Y'all know I struggle with that. So, yeah, with each new phase that this man puts on us, I have to go through a grieving process. So I've grieved the girlfriend, and that's what it is, y'all. There were a lot of people saying that they knew, and a lot of people saying that I was in denial about it. A lot of people saying that it didn't matter at first, and I kind of like switched up. Now I care. Unfortunately for me, I'm the type of person that assumes that people move how I move. I really need to get out of that. For me, I would not be introducing anybody to my children this soon. So before, when I was saying that it doesn't matter if he has a girlfriend or not, we need to be concerned about the house, I really mean that. And I still mean that, because at the end of the day, to me, it doesn't matter if he has a girlfriend. Unfortunately, he has introduced the girlfriend to the children. And that is the issue. That is the problem, because now I have to clean up the mess of that with my children. So, you know, we all knew that it had to be something or somebody. We didn't have any concrete evidence until Sunday. But we really didn't know that he was going to be bringing the person around his children this fast and this soon without having these proper discussions and really trying to figure out where your child's head is at. So I just wanted to clear that up. Yes, I was like in denial about it because I did not recognize that he was going to bring them to the children so fast. Yes, I was slipping and falling out of the loving arms of Christ. If I would have stayed committed to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, he would have warned me a long time ago, or I would have had more discernment to understand what I was actually dealing with. But because I was so far removed from Jesus, I had no idea. I thought it was me. I thought that I was doing something wrong. I thought that I can make things better. I thought I could fix this. I thought I could fix that. I thought I could change. I thought I could... No. Once I gave my life fully to Christ, God revealed to me who my ex-husband was and removed him. Story time on how I got banned from his mom's trial. It's not his mom's trial. Actually, it is the sentencing for the person that unalived her. It took 7 years for him to finally get sentenced. And finally, he has been sentenced as of May 16, 2025. On May 8th of 2025, I got a text message from my ex-husband. He said, have your lawyer send over the agreement. I'll review and decide whether to sign it or not. I said, you can reach out to her, please. He said, I'm not. I responded to the email. I'm letting you know. That's the reach out. I said, email, and then he said, period. I said, email is communication. You don't have to call her. Email is fine. He then ended up sending the email that he sent to her and saying that his name is not this, his name is actually that, and for her to send over the agreement. I said, okay, just let her know to send it over. He sent a laughing face emoji. And I said, what's funny? He said, start packing. I didn't respond. He said, period. I didn't respond. Then he sent me another text message a few moments later and said, and please do not show up to my mother's hearing. You are not welcome and are not a part of the family. Story time on how I knew that my marriage was over for sure. All right, so 7 years ago, my husband's mother was murdered. Unfortunately, she met a guy in the alley and he stabbed her to death. Rest in peace, Ma. We love you so much and we miss you so much. But on March 28th of 2025, that's the day that she had died 7 years ago, we had a memorial. And I made these cute little fans, but me and my husband were kind of like
on the outs. So I didn't really do too much as far as like planning or anything. He just set it up with all his family and friends to meet at the location where she was murdered. And I made I got some popsicle sticks and got her face, a picture of her face, like cardboard cutout. They sell it on Amazon, but I just glued it onto the popsicle stick and it was like a little fan. So that's all I did. Usually, if we was on the good, we would have been known what restaurant we was going to. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So we all meet up at the spot. My husband is still a little distant. People notice that me and him are not really how we usually are, but we're not there for that, so it doesn't matter. My cousin comes, his family comes, we're all together. We have the kids with us and everything. Probably about 20 people show up. And we eventually we all walk into the alley, and everybody says something in memory of her. I read a gospel song, Be Encouraged, no matter what's going on. I read that. And then my husband spoke, and this is how I knew. They say, like, when you know, like when you know you're going to be with somebody, and when you know that you're not going to be with somebody, when you know, you know. So my husband proceeds to show love and thankfulness for every single person that was out there. And when I'm like the only one left, actually me and my cousin were the only ones left, he kind of looks around me and then proceeds to be like, yeah, and that's it. And then my cousin, who's highly offended because me and my husband have been together for 12 years. My cousin was actually married to my husband's cousin for 12 years. They're divorced probably like 4 years now. They've been divorced. So he's like in the family. He known my husband before I knew him. So my cousin, after my husband looks around and avoids me and my cousin goes, and so my husband goes, yeah, and cousin Cliff, thank you so much, you always there for us, da, 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 da. So we're all like waiting for him to say something about me, but he doesn't. And I knew it before my cousin, before my cousin coughed. I felt it. The thing that went across my mind was, oh, this is the moment. This is the moment that they talk about where you know, you know. There is no way. And granted, it wasn't about me, but he went around to every single even the kids. He said something about the kids, his kids, our best friend's kids, our kids. He said something about every single person. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, oh my gosh, this is the moment that they talk about. Because my husband, the husband that God has chosen for me, he'd be like, babe, come here. Yes, we here, thank you guys. Everybody know Mal, like and I'm not saying I needed praises or anything like that, but he went around to everybody. And maybe it might not make sense to you guys, but it's that feeling where you know. So it was for me. But talking to our family members and stuff, they were all like, we thought it was very, very odd. Like immediately we knew like what's going on with them two. Like something is happening. Like he's not going to say nothing about Mal. Like she's been here the whole time. Like everybody was like his best friend and his best friend's wife. They were pissed. I didn't even have to say anything to them. They were pissed. And as we were leaving, when we got in the car, he started to argue with me. He was mad that I was upset about it. I didn't even say anything to him. I was talking to our cousin, the one that was married to my cousin. I was talking to her and she was like, what's going on, cuz? Like, why he didn't? I'm like, girl, I think this man really want to leave me. And so she's like, oh my gosh, but we're whispering, we're talking off to the side. Everybody's having their own private conversations. That's what me and her is talking about. So when we got in the car, he asked, what were you and cuz talking about? And I was like, yeah, we were just talking about, and he was like, that was not the time. That was not the place. You're so inappropriate. You don't even know how to control yourself. You don't know how to have discernment and read the room. It wasn't about you. It wasn't about you. I'm like, this is crazy. So yeah, story time on how I knew that my marriage was about to be over. That was on March 28th of this year. He's been indifferent with me since about December of last year. But yeah, that's it. Things my husband did to let me know that he secretly hated me. One, textbook. Birthdays, holidays, vacations. He would start something like a week before and would stonewall me, like give me the silent treatment. Like after he started something, he gets pissed off about something random. He would stop talking to me. And then finally, like a day or so before it was time to leave, prepare, or go to, he would start a argument. So now we're having a conversation about the situation, but it's an argument. And then when it's time to leave or go to the party, everything's cool. But I'm still dealing with the remnants of being stonewalled and the argument. But he's like cool and chilling. I'm thinking, from what I'm learning, I don't believe he's a narcissist. I do believe that he has very severe narcissistic traits because of his upbringing. But he was definitely stealing my energy and like stealing my personality so that he can use it for the function, the party, or the trip. Like, so he could, it's so sad to think about. But I can't think of it like that because every time I think of it like that, it always like makes me want to stay married to him or feel bad about, maybe not having as much consideration as I should. He is my husband through sickness and health, but I have to think about the reality of the situation. Like, that man ain't like me, and he can't like me because he don't like him. He likes how much I love him. He loves how much I love him. And he likes my personality so he can steal it. He was stealing my personality. That is the craziest thing to think about. Like, I told y'all in the last video that I had stopped smoking and drinking and cussing and all that stuff. And it seemed like he started to hate me more because he was still doing those things. He doesn't drink. He's on the Sober Society, Narcotics Anonymous, whatever. So he doesn't drink anymore, but he still smokes and cusses and all that stuff. It seemed like the more I started to better myself, it's like he despised me more. Like I had lost like maybe like 40 pounds or whatever. When I was 40 pounds heavier, he was all over me. Like I was smoking cigarettes. He was all over me. But once I started to like really come into who Christ made me to be, and I'm not there yet, I'm far from it, but I'm growing in Christ, he started to push away. So I just named one thing, but that one thing was hard, and I looked it up. Like stonewalling, that's like one of the number one causes for divorce because it's like it's no communication, it's no respect, it's emotional abuse. But it's just so sad because I just loved his kisses so much. That's how he would get me because I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for kisses. Like I tell people all the time, I don't know if somebody like me until they kiss me. Like, because I'd be like, la, 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 in my own little world or whatever. So me being in my own little world, I don't be paying attention if somebody like me. It's just one day they kiss me and I'm like, oh, okay, you like me. So that's what my husband would do to make me like kind of get back into, or try to get back into my good graces. He would just kiss me so good, but I can't fall for it. I'm done. He's done. I'm done. We selling the house. It's over. Finito.
We love a good beloved. Why would you think that God would want you to leave your husband for him? It doesn't even sound biblical. I went to Christ and my husband left me. Clock it. I went to Christ and my husband left me. Clock it. Can you believe that? That sounds very biblical. I went to Christ and my husband left me. I mean, what more could you ask for? Which hurts more, the man you loved hurt your heart or the death of the idea of what you wanted as a family. Neither. The biggest hurt is the children. The children are so confused. They're so lost. They're so sad. They don't know what to feel or how to feel. They know that their life is completely different than what it was. They also know that, or they believe that their dad is really, really happy, and he's so excited that he's not with mom anymore. So they want to be happy for dad, but then they also are like, well, dad's not here with us. You know, they don't want to be mad at me because they know that I didn't do anything, but dad had to leave because he did not want to be with mom. So it's just a lot of things going on with them, and it's just hard, and it hurts, and I feel so bad for them because besides showing up for them, giving them love, giving them attention, making sure they have their therapy appointments, there's nothing else I could do. So that is the hardest part of the whole entire situation. Like, yeah, the house is gone, the marriage is gone, the relationship is gone, the idea of gone is gone, the heartbreak is there, like all that stuff, it doesn't hold a candle to what my kids are going through. They are really, really struggling, and they're trying to keep it together to the best of their abilities. They have highs and they have lows. So it's my kids. What did you do for him not to acknowledge you? Be honest now. This is my favorite question from that post because it is so deep and so serious. Like, y'all don't even have a clue. At the end of the day, all I could do is be transparent and be as vulnerable as possible because that's what I've been called to do. And so I put my marriage before Christ. Yep, I idolized my marriage. The price for idolization is narcissism. I worshiped my marriage. I worshiped my husband. I would have done anything for him. Could I have done the same for Christ? Could I have said the same for Christ? Could I have done anything for Christ at that time? Was I willing to leave my husband for Christ? Doubt it. Doubt it. So I had to pay the price for that, y'all. Like, y'all think this a game. Y'all think it's a joke. It's spiritual warfare. For real. For real, for real. Not for play. We're not getting married so we can have weddings and houses and cars and kids and dresses and parties. This is a covenant. And the enemy wants to tear it down. So he was able to sneak right on in mine because I put my marriage above the Lord. Now, granted, I love the Lord. I've always loved the Lord, so I thought. But looking back on it, it looked like I may have loved my marriage a lot more. So, you know, if anybody want to take any advice from me, put Jesus first. Put him first. Put him first. Put him first. Because once you do, then he going to start showing you everything around you that you didn't put before him at a rapid rate. I gave my life to Christ July of 2024. I am getting divorced May of 2025. But hey, if God take it away, then I already know that it wasn't for me. So it is what it is.